My name is Justin. I'm here with the Leap Antelope. I'm going to show you from start to finish how to assemble it from the crate all the way on. So let's get started. Once you have broken down to the crate, you're going to need both a 12mm wrench for the two bolts that are on the head tube, and you will need a 10mm wrench for the bolts that are all around the base. So once those are out, simply lift the crate, carefully straight out the top of the bike, and set it off to the side. Remove your protective wrapping, and then carefully using a razor knife, being sure not to scratch the bike or cut the seat. Remove the rest of the protective plastic. With it will come the handlebars. The handlebars are also wrapped up to protect them in shipping, so all right. I'm just going to set my handlebars in place for the moment. And underneath the bike there will be two boxes. One box will be your charger. The second box will be all your accessory bolts and everything else you need to put the bike together. So the smaller box is your charger. Just be able to set to the side until after. One thing I want to note, the charger is a high-speed charger at 220 volt. It's a normal speed charger at 120 volt. I think full charge, you're probably looking at 5 hours or so, maybe on low speed, and maybe 2.5 hours on high speed. But if you do provide the charger with 220 volt power, it's perfectly capable of adapting to that, and it will charge the bike faster. Got some brochures. We have a front fender. We'll set off to the side. We have a nice red rear fender. We'll set to the side for now. We have a license plate bracket with turn signals for the back. Set to the side. There's some seat repair material. And what we're looking for is the accessory bolts as well as the handlebar clamps. So we'll set the empty box off to the side. And the first thing we're going to do, just for ease of moving and security and everything else, we're going to put the handlebars on the bike. Take the two clamps out of the bag, loosely holding the handlebars in place. Take the largest 4 bolts out of the accessory bag. And just gently screw it in. That way your handlebars don't swing around or hit anything or get damaged while you're getting everything else unwrapped. From this point, what I'm going to do is undo the kickstand. I'm going to undo the foot pegs, basically run around, cut all the zip ties off of the bike. And also the keys, which are on the left side of the bike, zip tied to the frame. I'm going to open the seat and I'm going to take out my accessory tool pouch, which has basically everything that I need to assemble the rest of this bike. So, taking a pair of cutters, release both the brake reservoirs with levers already attached. They're already pre-bled, or should be, but if they're not, we'll give you a brief tutorial on how to finish bleeding them. We'll snip the foot pegs off. There's it tied up to the frame for shipping. Remove all the bubble wrap. And lastly, on the left side of the bike, attach the frame with a zip tie. We got the keys for the bike. Using the keys, we're going to insert them into the right side of the bike. Simply pull the seat back, which we'll set aside until a little bit later. And Velcroed into the left side of the cavity on the bike is a tool pouch, which will have a large Allen screw for the front axle. We'll have a Torx screw. It has a combination 8 and 10 millimeter wrench, and it has numerous sizes of Allen wrench from 5 millimeter all the way up. Everything that you need to put this bike together. So, make a little bit of room on my bench here and move all my tools. My next step will be to get ready to take the bike off of the stand. The front forks have a spacer, and it's actually welded on. You have to release a pinch bolt that is underneath the fork, which is the Torx bit that comes in your toolkit. And then using the large 12 millimeter Allen wrench, you have to back the axle out. At that point, you'll be able to lift the bike up and put it on a stand, which is gonna make your life a lot easier. If you don't need a stand. But if you have a stand, again, it'll make your life a lot easier. My next step also is going to be to remove the battery. The battery weighs quite a bit compared to the rest of the bike. So just to make my life easier in putting it on my stand, I'm gonna remove it. To remove the battery, there's 2 wing nuts on a steel bracket. Those wing nuts are loosened. 4 or 5 turns, it'll pull back, and then just simply by stretching the plastic just a little bit, you should be able to release that bracket from inside the bike. And a little bit of effort, you can lift the battery out, but again, it'll make your life a lot easier than trying to put the bike on a stand with the battery in it, because the battery is probably 25% of the weight of this bike. Okay. Now in the rear swing arm, there's 2 straps that came with it. I'm gonna release those straps. The front is still bolted in. If you have a second person to help you stabilize it, it's a little bit easier, but it can be done alone with fairly little effort. 1 strap, 2 straps. I have the kickstand down on this side, so once the second strap is released, it'll pretty much just lean over on the kickstand. And I will again, using my Torx wrench that came with the bike and using my Allen wrench, I will loosen the pinch bolt underneath the fork. So with the pinch bolt loosened, then I can take the 12 millimeter and loosen it, and the bike will be free from the crate. All right, now the bike is released from the crate. Once I remove the Allen, you can take your 12 millimeter Allen, put it in there and kind of tap it out if you need to. All right. Now with 2 people, what we can do is if you grab the back, I'll grab the front, and we'll just simply lift it out of the case and set it on the ground. Okay, if you hold that for 1 second, I will get a stand. 2 people, pretty easily without the battery, put it onto the stand. So we're good from there. I'm gonna move it just back a little bit so the center of gravity is rearward, but very nice. So from here, I'm gonna jump to my handlebars. I'm gonna snug them up a little bit. There's markings on the top of the actual handlebar themselves. I like mine in the center, but you can decide what you like as far as your riding position. So the handlebars are solid now. I will jump to grabbing my 3 millimeter Allen wrench. I'm sorry, it's the 4 millimeter. And these brake brackets are pretty nice. They're not 2 screws like a lot of bikes I've worked on before. They actually have a hinge on the bottom of them, so it's just 1 screw. One thing you got to be aware of is that the brake levers will interfere with the controls if you put them too close to the controls. So you want to space them about an inch, and then just get them snug, and then verify that when the brakes are depressed, it doesn't interfere with the plastic control box for the speed settings and everything else. So with the brakes snug, simply look between the controls and the set screws for the brakes, squeeze it in, and make sure there's no interference. If you get that fine, you can go ahead and tighten it at whatever angle that you prefer your brakes. I typically like to have my brake reservoirs horizontal. Makes it easier if you do need to bleed them. If you like your brakes down more, I'd probably still put it to the, have the reservoir horizontal in case you do need to bleed it, and then after you have them bled and working properly, you can adjust it up or down. Same with the other side of the bike. I am going to move using a single Phillips screwdriver, my e-stop button inboard a little bit. I'll just leave it loose until I get my brake on. And then one other thing that I noticed that I do want to change, I'm going to move my brake routing, because it seems to stretch around the frame fairly tightly. So I'm going to move it to go underneath the frame versus around the middle of the head tube. So what I'll do is I'll loosen one fork with the wheels not on it. Excuse me. And I will drop that fork tube down, pull the cable out from behind it, route it the way I want it a little bit better, and then tighten the fork back up. Having rerouted the rear brake underneath the frame tube, I'm going to snug and then tighten triple tree clamps again. And snug the bottom triple trees. Then I will attach that rear brake lever to the left handlebar. And again, you're going to place it in about 1 inch from the controls using the 4mm Allen wrench, and you just want to make sure that it clears the controls. So get it snug first. Once it's snug to where it can be still adjusted, you want to squeeze it and make sure that everything mechanical clears the plastic control box. After that, I'm going to tighten my Phillips screw, my emergency stop lanyard. That's it for the handlebars and the controls. We'll need to, after we put the wheel on, go back and adjust the cable routing a little bit, but it's pretty close to where it should be out of the box. From here, we're going to put the front wheel on. The front wheel does come in a separate box, as you see here. Open the box, wheel comes right out. And we'll set the box aside. Have your axle ready. It's going to go in from the right side of the bike, opposite of the brake. There is a plastic spacer in the brake caliper to keep the pads from compressing on themselves. So you should be able to do it by hand, just kind of jiggle it and work it out. If not, grab a pair of pliers, but that one came out nice and easy. Make sure the fork tubes are kind of centered to where the axle will go through straight. gently slide the wheel in, trying to also line up the space on the calipers. And if you line the space on the calipers up just perfect, the wheel slips in nice and easy. Lift it up, slide your axle in, center it on the other side. And your 12mm Allen screw should tighten up nice and easy. It has a spacer on the left side that actually tightens towards the wheel. Pretty nice CNC piece that requires no spacers on the wheel. The wheel's nice and tight without any spacers just by tightening this. Get it good and snug, and then underneath, remember your pinch bolt, the Torx wrench. We will tighten that up. Front wheel's on. You might need to bleed the brakes a little bit, but we'll check that after. At this point, what we're going to do front fender, rear fender, put the battery back in, go through everything and just double check that everything's snug and tight. And that's it. Pretty simple installation. So, front fender first. In your package of accessory screws and bolts that came in the other box, you'll have a handful of long and short 4mm Allen screws. It uses 4 short ones. Just put them in loosely at first until you get all 4 of them in, and then you can snug them all. Just line it up underneath. First one, it should support itself. And we'll go diagonal. Get the second one in. Third one. And the fourth one. You might need to wiggle it a little bit to get it center up. That's why we don't tighten any of them until all 4 are in. Once the fourth one's in, you can run around, snug them all, and then give them another quarter turn to tighten them up all the way. Front fender tight. We move on to the rear fender. I personally want to put the turn signals in the tail light bracket because I plan on putting a tag on this. Once I get registered through the DMV, underneath here, this comes off to put the taillight bracket on. There's going to be 4 screws, 2 4mm and 2 3mm. So undo this, and then the 3mm ones. The reason I'm undoing it is because the cable will route underneath this and out the back. That way it avoids the rear tire when you're in operation. So turn signals, and it will require a little bit of force. Stretch the cables out, put this in the back, and then you're going to slide it down to center up over the taillight, which comes already mounted to the bike. There will be a DOT accessory version available for those that want to make it street legal. But there'll be a handful of different options. If you want a little bit more sleek look, this provides it. It's not DOT, so once it centers up like that, you're going to stretch your wires out. The wires will go from underneath into the channel, run along the channel and out the back. We'll simply put that straight back into the fender. In a short period of time from being in the crate, we're ready to. So now our tag bracket's on with the turn signals. There's 4 plugs total. One's labeled, and the other 2 are actually not labeled, but they are male and female. So if you do the left first, the right first, and those 2 first, then you won't even be able to mess up at all because the other 2 are in tubing. You can't plug them in at all. Underneath the plastic, and the plastic tail section will snap into place, and there will be 5 more of our screws that go into that. We'll need 3 short ones and 2 long ones. At that point, we will do the battery and tighten everything up and just double check chain tension, double check the brakes being bled, There'll be about 2 or 3 different plugs that need to be plugged in, but they're either labeled or they are to where you can't mess them up. The bracket, just stretch the plastic just a little bit. It drops in, slides in place. 3 or 4 turns on the wing nuts. Lock the battery into place. Be 2 plugs. One plug will be for your charger adapter that goes to the side of the bike. Plugs in and a 1/4 turn locks it. The other one will go to the controller. Just manipulate the wires a little bit to where you can get the plug in place. Push it down a little bit, and then once you get it pushed down a little bit, the plug has a cantilever that pushes it in place. That's locked in. Hold the button for 2 or 3 seconds on the battery. It's on the right side of the plugs. You can close it just to verify and turn the key on. It powers up. We will wait until we do the rest of the plugs in the front end. We have a couple that we need to address. And that'll be it. So from our emergency interrupt lanyard, there's a plug. Simply run it in, and then from the right side controller, there's a plug. It has an arrow. If you line your 2 arrows up, it should plug right in. They're also keyed, so you can't really mess it up, but with the 2 arrows pointed at each other, plug it in. That cable will just double back on itself. There is a nice little rubber strap that will attach to the brake cable to keep everything nice and organized. And same on the other side, there's a little double clip that locks the other cable into place. Once those are all plugged in, the headlight's mounted with a rubber clip that goes around the fork tube. With the exception of the rear seat, and then double checking all of our connections, that should be it. Make sure your handlebars are tight. Make sure the fork tube that we loosen is tight. There's the other one. And then we'll double check the brakes. Because being in shipping position, they might have lost a little bit of their prime. So, front forks are tight. I'm just going to give it a squeeze. So the rear brake, we have good pressure. Front brake, a little bit low on pressure, but that was because the caliper was released with that spacer that was in it. I'm going to pump it a little bit. If it comes around on its own, we won't need to do anything else. If we do need to do anything else, we might just bleed it once or twice. We can go over too. So this one's not getting good pressure, so we're going to jump right into bleeding it. What I'd like to do first is expose the reservoir, 2 Phillips screws, and there will be a rubber gasket underneath the cap. It is full. From there, see if I can get any air bubbles. If I can't, what I'll do is go straight into using an 8mm wrench and bleeding it. So in the tool pouch, it comes with a combination 8 and 10mm wrench. What I'll do is I will depress the brake lever and I will release the screw on the brake caliper, and a little bit of fluid should come out. This may need to be done 2 or 3 times. Still have no pressure, so we'll do it a second time. Open it, and without releasing the brake caliper or brake lever, holding it in, we will release the bleeder screw again. The caliper, the other one was tight on the brake, but it's almost like the piston's stuck. So we'll keep trying to bleed it. There we go. I think the pistons were just stuck because once we get a few bubbles out of it actually right now, and I think just from a couple months of sitting, I think in a down position too, I think yeah, we got good front brake pressure now. I popped the bleeder screw like twice on it and then just kept kind of toying with it. At this point what I'll do is I'll go over how to actually adjust the brake lever. The red screw here adjusts how far in the hand grip goes. I like mine most of the way out, so I'll just adjust it to where it's barely out. And this 3mm Allen screw and that set screw, so that means it's loose because it's not touching the plunger. So what we're going to do is adjust this to the position that we like it first. I like it right about there. Then I'm going to take an Allen screw and screw this in until the play gets out of it. So we have a little bit of play still. There's very little play. Very, very little play, which is about where I like it. I like to know that it's not depressing the plunger, but not so, because if you screw it in too tight, it'll actually apply the brakes without the brakes being on. So what you do is then you tighten your pinch nut while holding the Allen so it doesn't screw in anymore. And then once you do that, you'll want to verify that. That's tight now. I still have a little bit of play before it touches the plunger, and I've got good brake pressure. We'll put the cap back on it. Whoop. Put the cap back on it with the gasket. Tighten her down, we should be good to ride. We'll adjust the brakes on the other side too. That one's done. We will simply adjust our preload on this one. I'm going to back it off again because I like my brakes out a little bit more. And again, using a 3mm Allen and a 10mm regular wrench, I'm going to loosen the pinch nut. And then I'm going to back the Allen out until I have a little bit of play. So right there I have a little bit of play. I'll put it back in and tighten it. That basically is no play, which I don't want no play. That's very little. While holding the Allen in position, I'll tighten the pinch nut so it doesn't change while you ride it. Got a little bit of play before it touches the plunger. Touches the plunger, have good brake pressure. Good to go. That's it. Seat back on. This this piece on the seat, slips underneath the steel bracket here. Tap the back of the seat for it to lock. And then that's it. Ready to ride.